Welcome to Coast View, the show that every single day celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such an amazing place to live, work, and play. Hey, we're live from Town Green today, celebrating Cruisin the Coast. The show today, several shows actually across this morning's schedule, are sponsored by Coastal Mississippi Tourism. Thrilled to have them as a sponsor. And it's thrilled to be here in Town Green in Biloxi. You know, I couldn't help but think about the poor people of Hurricane Ian and what they're going through now. And where we're sitting right now was about 20 feet underwater for Hurricane Katrina. And you look out there now, not a sign that Katrina hit. And I think it serves as sort of a symbol of recovery for ourselves and for the people of Hurricane Ian. They may not know it now, but you know they will come back, and we should keep them in our thoughts and prayers. It is an amazing time this week. We have a great show today with several people that are engaged in Cruisin the Coast. At the end of the show, we'll have Woody Bailey, the executive director. I call him the Elvis of Cruisin because when you walk around with Woody, he is a celebrity. I've said that many times before, but who doesn't love Woody Bailey? And we'll have him at the end of the show. I'm thrilled, though, to have as my first guest my friend. I joked with him a second ago. We now live next door to each other. What was the chances that he and I would end up on live TV together for SuperTalk here at Town Green? But my friend Pete ViCari, and he has ViCari Auctions. We're going to be talking more about that in just a second. But anyway, how you doing, my friend?
Thank you. Doing great. Isn't it a beautiful day? Actually, the whole week. Beautiful week in South Mississippi. I mean, we couldn't ask for it. And look, we need to keep the people in Florida in our prayers.
Yeah.
We missed it. And
yeah, what's interesting, I thought, Pete, that at one point, as this hurricane was forming, there was at least a chance it would come here, and we would have not be enjoying what we're enjoying here. We were lucky it didn't come to us, but unfortunately it hit somebody. Anytime a storm gets into Gulf, it's going to hit somebody.
Well, I'll tell you my little secret. My weatherman is you, because you've been involved in newspapers and all that. You've been when I see it on TV, the route that they predicting to the hurricanes to go, and you tell me, look at the European model, the U.S. Like, who knows where it's going?
That is for sure. Hey, you're going to have, I mean, there's a lot to talk about because right off the bat, ViCari Auctions has become a mainstay during Cruisin the Coast. This year's is going to be a record show for you. And then on top of that, you're going to be live on CBS. So why don't we start with how's the show coming together for this year?
It's coming together great. We start this process 5 months before. We got girls that work and putting it all together, and it actually continues 2 months after to close out everything. So right now, we had all-time entries into the auction. We have like over 600 lots that's going to be sold starting Thursday. We open at 8. The auction begins at 9 o'clock every day, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Please come out, bring the family. And actually Saturday morning, we have a very special event that's going to happen. It's going to be a surprise to everyone. So, if you can't come out Thursday and Friday, you got to be there Saturday morning. It's going to be a heartwarming event.
So, anyway, we're getting some feedback on music, Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. Hang on, Kyle. You hear me? I'm sorry. So anyway, yes. So we have it's a lot to be looking forward to in the ViCari Auctions this year. When we come back on the other side of this segment, we'll say a few more things about the auction, and we'll see after this break. We're not going to break. Okay. Well, good. We're still on. What happened for the listening audience? We had some music that came on, and it kind of messed us up there for a second. But so anyway. Coming back to the show, it's great for enthusiasts, people who love cars. It's great for buyers. It's great for sellers. It's really good for the general public, isn't it, Pete?
It is, and it's over the 25, 30 years that we've been doing this. It's a family. Yes. We have built long-term relationship, friends, families all over the country. I mean, we actually sell cars to Australia. We got a guy almost every year will watch us online, and we got to ship him 10 to 12 cars. I mean, and it's this whole show is growing. I mean, Woody, and you'll talk to him later, but we got people from London coming. I mean, they ship their cars in, and Puerto Rico and Canada. I mean, it's amazing. Because I'm going to tell you, this is the biggest event in the South, car-related.
Yes.
I mean, and it's a great show. Everybody loves it.
Well, Pete, what makes it special, as you know, because you're in the business, but usually, as Woody describes it, they go to a huge lot and they display their cars. But in this event, because it spans 40 miles of events, you actually get to use your car. I just love the way Woody says that.
Right, and look at the scenery along the coast. It's beautiful. I mean, South Mississippi has come back really strong. We love the whole area. I mean, as you said earlier, I mean, I'm your neighbor. I live here too now. So I love the area, and the people that come here love it. They love the Southern hospitality. Because, look, I've been to shows all over the country. You don't get treated like this up north.
Yes.
I got to call a spade a spade.
Yeah. Hey, listen, here's the deal, Pete. This is the reason why you have car owners coming from all over the United States to sell cars with you here in coastal Mississippi.
Well, sure. They love it here. I mean, like I said, we keep in touch with them all year long, and we build bridges, and we talk to, we're very close friends.
Yeah. Hey, so tell me about the CBS relationship. That's exciting.
Yeah, CBS came to us last year. We did some. It was actually taped. We would actually tape the event, and they would show it like 2 weeks later. Well, they love the auction concept, so to speak, and their ratings went up a lot. So they came to me and said, "Look, it's a perfect fit for Cruising the Coast. We want to do it live." They have film crew running around all this 40 miles here, getting footage and stuff so they can show it when they go live at Friday morning. It's at 9 to 11 live, and then it's going to replay at 7 o'clock that night. So they're really picking up in their interest, and we love it, and they're great people. I mean, it's a major ordeal when you're talking live TV. They got, satellite trucks. They got thousands of foot of cable all over the place.
Wow. I think it's going to play well. I think one of the reasons it's going to play well, you know how I feel about this, but you guys are from South Louisiana. You have sort of that Louisiana accent. You all have great personalities. You've got this cast of characters that you brought into the fold. It's going to be great reality TV, isn't it?
Yes. Some of my guys. We got one guy, Buddy Knockhand. He's Cajun, and he can turn that heavy Cajun accent on when he wants to, and it's hilarious. And they love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, why don't you brought yourself here? Yeah,
yeah.
That's so exciting. So it really matters when the weather is world class, though, doesn't it?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I went outside at like 4:30 this morning with a coffee, and I didn't want to go back in. Early in the morning it was nice, and today it's really nice. So,
in the days leading up to it, you just knew. Of course, once we knew the hurricane wasn't coming here, and this high pressure built in, Woody had to probably be one of the happiest guys on earth.
We were both. He and I were talking like every couple hours. Where it's going, what's it doing, and then that's when you chimed in about the European model and stuff.
Well, we got lucky. And, as we now know the rest of the story, the reality was that the atmospheric conditions were a little bit confusing, so they weren't exactly sure where it was going to hit. And that's part of the story of Hurricane Ian. Essentially, toward the end, they knew it was going to hit Florida.
I got a quick little story I want to tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's Sanibel Island, if I hope I say that right. A mutual acquaintance of ours that we were building a friendship had a couple Daytonas, 69, 70 Daytonas and Superbirds, and he had a picture of it in his garage before and after. All those cars in the house got washed away.
Wow.
And those are high-dollar cars, big money cars.
Yeah.
They got totally destroyed.
Yeah, it was very much the story of outside the levee in Louisiana and of course, here in coastal Mississippi, very much that story. And it's we know what they're going through, but
been there.
Yeah, they'll definitely come back. So in the short time we have left, Pete, what does Cruisin mean to you?
Oh, I enjoy it. I mean, it means a lot to me because it was a hobby that started 30 years ago. That's now into another business with us, and it supports people's full-time employment. And I love it. I mean, I'm a car guy by heart. I have a collection of cars. I don't care about, and it's not like about just selling that car for that person. I love that car. I love those people. And I just love being involved with Cruising the Coast. And when I go back many years ago when Gene Oswald was the director before Woody. And we just struck a great friendship, and we were like brothers, and Woody's a great guy.
He really is. Well, Pete, thank you for visiting with me. I appreciate it, my friend.
Sure, anytime.
So anyway, we're here live from Cruising the Coast, sponsored by Coastal Mississippi. We'll see you shortly after the break. Welcome back to Coastview. I have my friend David Shoemake with us now as we continue to celebrate Cruising the Coast in Town Green here in Biloxi, hosted and sponsored today by Coastal Mississippi. David, it's good to see you, my friend.
Likewise, Ricky.
It's good to see you.
Likewise.
I've known for a long time that you enjoyed cars, but, we have all these people coming in from all over the world to enjoy Cruising the Coast, but you sort of represent a local who has enjoyed this from probably the very beginning.
Very beginning.
Tell me about it.
I love it, man. Ricky, this is so much more than cars. We all come because of the cars, but, I've developed friendships from people that just pulled up on our spot during cruising and asked to just hang out with us, and have developed 8, 9, 10-year relationships with these folks that, we go to their weddings and unfortunately their funerals, and it's just more than cars, Ricky. This is where your families come. They may live 4 or 5 states away, but they come this week so they can enjoy this beauty that we have, as we call it, a coast, and all the cars and the fellowship and the friendship. It's just way more than cars.
Well, you heard Pete ViCari and I talking just a few minutes ago. The beauty of your perspective is that you were in a position before and after Katrina to contribute to the rebuilding of this entire Mississippi Gulf Coast. And now that you see it today where it is, and you see all of these people getting to enjoy it for what it is, it's an incredible opportunity for you to be able to express what it really means to have gotten to this place.
Absolutely, Ricky. The day of Katrina, I became possessionless, homeless, officeless. I had nothing. Fortunately, I had a company that was in construction that was able to come back strong, and I can kick back and look at all the things that we've built. I'm looking at 2 or 3 of them as I sit here, and know that those were things that we had just hands and feet involvement to bring the coast back to where we are today. And as I look at Florida, Ricky, and my heart breaks for them. I know exactly what they're hearing. I know what they're smelling. I know what they're seeing. I know what they're feeling. And if I could give them anything, I would love to give them this week here.
Yeah.
So they could come see what's possible 15 years down the road. I know that's a long time, but in 15 years, we are here, Ricky. We've got everything that we could ever want. There's homes being built in places where folks were afraid to build, and the economy here is strong. I was there yesterday when they made 9,000 cars in this thing here, and there's another 9,000 that's not registered. This is just huge, and it's a compliment not only to Woody, who was just phenomenal in this, but it's a compliment to our coast. Our coast has come back so strong, so much stronger than some other areas that have been hit by catastrophes. Maybe not as bad as Katrina, but we have come back so strong, and our people are so resilient, and our economy is moving, and our leadership is strong, and we are just real lucky, Ricky.
We are lucky, and I think what you just said is a great testament to those in Hurricane Ian. The way you said, you know what they feel, you know what they smell. We all know what they feel and smell, and the reality is they will come back. They may not necessarily see it, but where we're sitting right now, the water was over 20 feet deep.
Absolutely.
And so look around us as this thriving economy continues to move forward.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the cars you own.
Man, I tell you, I am so lucky there, Ricky. I seen a post on Facebook the other day that says, I have incredibly too much, and it leaves a blank, and I put hot rods. Because I have 6, and I'm just, I'm real lucky. My wife has a magazine quality 1928 two-door sedan Ford that is just something special to see. And she loves it. She drives it. She enjoys it. She'll be in it tomorrow. And I've got a 57 Chevrolet that's a direct replica of what I came home from the hospital in. And it's special to me. I just got a bunch of old cars. It's fun.
Isn't
it's
that
fun.
neat? So what? Okay. So what does your week look like? What do you?
Oh, dude, I work a little bit in the morning so I can act like I'm not completely sorry, but I play hard, man. I got up at 4 o'clock this morning, and we'll get in bed tonight 11:30, and we'll be back up tomorrow. This week here, you have less sleep, more food, and more fun than you usually have in a week.
Hey, listen, I was headed from my house in Biloxi to Memorial Hospital yesterday. It took almost an hour to get there. But I passed the VA home in Gulfport on the way. I have never seen so many cars working their way into that facility.
It's crazy.
It was unbelievable.
It's crazy. I tell you, I was there yesterday, and like I say, I was there when they hit 9,000, and they were hooping and hollering like a bunch of Christmas kids, you know. But, Ricky, we're going to hit 10,000 cars this year. It wouldn't surprise me if we hit 10,000. And this weather has a huge amount of credit for it. But Woody and his people, man, they hit a home run, Ricky. Right now, this is the time in our economy that we ought to be struggling a little bit with, this is just not a peak time. Even though this is such a special weather we've got right now, this is really not a peak time for our tourism industry. And for those folks to take a shot at this 26 years ago with a vision of hopefully they can sustain some of the tourism industry for another week, and look what they've done now is it's just astronomical, man. And it's just there are folks that are, and being a small business owner, I can feel for them. There are folks that need this week.
Yeah,
they need this week. You know,
they really do, and that was the original mission for sure. But what's interesting is that you've got here on SuperTalk, we have legislators and leaders from all over the state that pay attention to what's happening here. When you see the accumulation of partnerships that create something like Cruisin the Coast and have success year after year after year after year, that's the reason why we have to support the tourism effort here in coastal Mississippi, because we're an economic engine that drives this state. And this event is sort of a pinnacle event. It's the most significant event like it in Mississippi. It's the number one event in USA Today year after year after year. What makes it so interesting, I might add, and I said this to Pete ViCari a few minutes ago, the typical car show or cruising event you would go to would be a big field and you'd sit there and ooh and all over each other's cars. But here you have 40 miles where you actually get to use your cars the way that Woody talks about it.
That's
and
right.
I think what better event than this event?
And we do. We sit down when they come out with their event card, we map our week out. I know right now what I'm going to be doing all the way to Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's no guesswork involved in every event. What I think is so special is the fact that it's 40 miles. Every community along our coast gets to taste a little bit of this. Their industry gets to reap some of the benefits of all this. I think it's really cool that it spreads so far out and everybody gets a piece of the change.
Isn't that neat? And again, once again, we're showcasing coastal Mississippi. Each of the communities, I say it on my show literally almost every day and have for over 2 years, each of the communities that make up coastal Mississippi, each has its own special sense of place. And this Cruisin the Coast event really puts an amplifier to that all the way across the coast for an entire week. What a better way to do that.
Absolutely. I think that I met some people Monday night sitting listening to the Tops at Long Beach, and there was a group of folks that were playing ball with a little boy, and he was just having a great time, and the ball came over by me, so I caught it and I gave it back to him, and the guy came over and talked to me. They were from 35 miles south of Memphis in Mississippi, a little country town, and there was 12 cars here. Started with one car, came for 2 days 6 years ago, and now 14 cars, which means 14 families there was a group of them, 14 families were here. They took a whole wing of a motel, and they're here for 8 days, Ricky. And it's just because one car hit a home run, 5 years ago and couldn't wait to get back to tell their friends.
And that story plays out over and over and over
That's
again.
why we'll be 10,000 cars this year, Ricky.
Yeah, and what about how many people are not registered?
As many as that are. You know, and you know, I register all my cars, and some of them we don't even drive. But I feel so strongly for this event that I want to financially support it, because if you don't financially support it, it's going to wither and go. You know, and as long as this thing is booming and money is being passed along our community, those folks that are taking advantage of this event without paying are being supported by those that love it enough to support them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Hey, Cal, how are we doing on time, my friend? You there, buddy? Okay, very good. So, listen, David, it's been a pleasure to catch up with you. You're one of the good guys. You have so much institutional knowledge about the road that coastal Mississippi has gone through, and your opportunity to not only enjoy your cars and your friends and whatever, but also enjoy this pinnacle moment to be able to showcase what's the best about coastal Mississippi. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for visiting with me today, my friend.
Appreciate you, Ricky.
It's been a pleasure.
It always is.
We'll see you right after this break with more. I will see you after this. Welcome back to Coast View, live from Town Green in Biloxi. We're so happy to be here celebrating Cruisin the Coast and this incredible weather of coastal Mississippi. I actually posted this morning a world-class event in a world-class place with world-class weather. All parts are coming together, and we're showcasing coastal Mississippi like never before. And this segment is also sponsored by coastal Mississippi. I'm so thrilled to have my friend Woody Bailey with us, and we're going to be speaking with Greg Cronin as well. He's the chairman of the board for coastal Mississippi. We'll come back to Greg in just a second. But Woody, I've never seen so many cars. What's going on?
Well, my little car show, I think it's gotten a little bigger. It appears. Things are just amazing. You mentioned about the weather. I was just talking with Greg. Not only is the current weather great, the forecast, and that's very key for outdoor events. If anybody looks at the TV, Weather Channel, all they're going to see are sun balls all the way through the end of this event. And that's one of the best things going in our favor, because we'll have another large surge of people coming in on Thursday for the weekend that are not already here, possibly. So this show is even surprising me this year.
So when you talk about another surge, you must have had already a surge. Tell me about it.
Pretty much. Well, Monday and Tuesday are our busiest days at registration. And that surge was very impressive. On Monday, we registered right at 500 people. On Tuesday, we registered a little over 300 people. And so that's, if you do the math, that's 800. And typically from Monday to Saturday, Saturday at noon, this coming Saturday at noon, we'll know our final number. We normally register around 1,000 to 1,500 in normal years. We're already at 800. And that's very surprising to me. The numbers where we are to start with our pre-registration numbers, we were only 17 behind last year's record pace. So that's pretty much even, I call it, with last year. And then I didn't think we would make it this year as far as having strong numbers. But with gas prices, didn't know the gas prices were coming. Didn't know the economy issues were coming. But look at these numbers. These folks are committed to their hobby. They're committed to this event, both participants and spectators, and they're showing up.
Well, Woody, here's the thing. I did a search this morning on Cruisin the Coast, and the number of videos and the number of sites that are covering Cruisin the Coast from all over is truly remarkable. It's really significant. But you and I talked about this. Since Cruisin is such a unique event, and I love the way you say it, because typically it's a big field somewhere. It's a great event, but your car sits there and people are ooh and ah on each other's cars. For this event, they actually get to use their car.
Sure.
And since it's been the top Cruisin event in the nation and USA Today multiple years, people may be making a choice. They may have decided, I'm not going to go to this event, and I'm going to go to Cruisin the Coast instead.
Very possible.
And they're watching the weather, and they're hearing from their friends. This is such a connected group, isn't it? I mean, these guys have tremendous networks, don't they?
They do, and a tremendous amount of reunions going on here. People from all over the country get to know folks at Cruisin the Coast, and they all come back each year looking forward to seeing them and seeing how the kids are doing, how the grandkids are doing, whatever. But it's just a gathering of of a lot of fun for a lot of people from all over the country.
A lot of planning that goes into this year-round. One of the things that impresses me the most is the number of volunteers it takes to pull this off. How is that going this year?
Very well. We are always needing volunteers. I would invite anybody that would like to help us out. We want you. We can even use you now during this event. Go to Centennial Plaza and go to our registration desk and let them know you want to help. That's our biggest challenge for the future. I know we're talking about the present right now, but the volunteers that we have, we want to keep this thing going for many, many years to come, and we've got to have a strong volunteer force to help make this event successful.
And what I would say is to people who live all over Mississippi that realize that coastal Mississippi is an economic engine for the rest of the state, this would be a great time for you to come on down and be a volunteer, even if you're not necessarily a car enthusiast.
Sure.
This opportunity is very significant. Woody, when you think about the role that Centennial Plaza plays in this, you and I talked about how it was really literally a phoenix that rose from the ashes after Hurricane Katrina. To see where it is today, to drive past there yesterday and see all of those cars and all of those people and all that pulse of activity coming from there, what an incredible headquarters.
Oh, yeah. It's so centrally located. It's just alive and kicking as far as I'm concerned for Cruising the Coast. We're very fortunate to have that as our headquarter location, and it just works so well. Everything flows. It wasn't flowing too good yesterday and Monday because everybody wants to get there and get their packet. If they will just wait a little bit, they don't have to be in such a hurry, but everybody's anxious to get here, get involved, and get out cruising. So today is a little bit of a slow day because everything's going on here at the town green in Biloxi. Tomorrow will be a busy day with a lot of people coming in for the weekend. So Centennial's working great for us.
Well, what was interesting to yesterday, what I noticed, I saw that firsthand, that you had this turning lane, but what would happen is inside Centennial would get hung up, and they would have to wave people on by. I'm assuming they would have to go down and circle back and try to get back in, but that's the sign of an incredibly successful event, was what that is, isn't it?
It is. We have a lot of experienced people that are helping us with that traffic control. Gulfport PD there is helping us out tremendously as well. It's a lot to manage. We're trying to make it as safe as possible. We don't like cars backing up on 90 any more than we have to, but it does happen from time to time.
So we won't go through all the details, but if people are interested in attending some of the events that are happening all across coastal Mississippi, you can go to the Cruisin the Coast website and get a nice, telling of all those activities.
Sure.
Greg Cronin, chairman of Coastal Mississippi Tourism. You see Woody sitting here. I referred to him earlier as Elvis. I walked around with him a couple of years ago, and everybody knew him. He's a celebrity.
Everybody knows it. Everybody knows Woody.
But it might be time for me to leave the building. But I guess that's not going to happen till Sunday or so.
No,
I'm gonna be in the building through Sunday and beyond.
Elvis isn't leading the building, but Greg, Woody is so important to coastal Mississippi, isn't he?
Well, it's been a great partnership. He is coastal Mississippi. He is Cruising the Coast, and I'm a kind of a numbers guy, and I was just kind of looking at some of the impact of what this means to the Gulf Coast. And a study from last year showed it was about a $36 million benefit to the state of Mississippi and about $33 million to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And it's all because of this gentleman and a couple others that got together years ago and said, hey, we need to do something. I think after Labor Day is kind of what the idea was,
sure,
and put something together. And lo and behold, look what we have. And, we go from all the way down the coast, from out on the water at Moss Point to the town green in Biloxi. I can go up, parades in Long Beach, and it's just been a great way, and it's a great signature event for coastal Mississippi.
Yeah, we got a 40-mile cruising range that's going to be opening up as tomorrow when all our venues open up. So people will be going from Pascagoula all the way to Bay St. Louis and stopping in and getting their cards stamped, and they're eligible for $20,000 $500 increments that we give away on the Sunday, last Sunday of the event. So it's on. It's happening right now, that's for sure.
One of the things we have the opportunity to do through SuperTalk is talk to a statewide audience. through SuperTalk TV on this show. Of course, we're talking across coastal Mississippi. And then in addition to that, we've got Gerard going to be coming on, and he's going to be talking to a statewide audience. This event is not just a coast event. This event is a Mississippi event. And it's important for everyone to realize that the partnerships that are playing out here in coastal Mississippi to make this event happen is extremely important to Mississippi. That's why when we're talking to C. Ray, Craig Ray, who's head of Visit Mississippi, that he's so locked on to this event. But this is a Mississippi event, isn't it, buddy?
It is, most definitely. We're working with Craig Ray from a statewide standpoint. We have impacts throughout the whole state, and we try to capitalize on that too to help other areas of the state. Don't want the state to mess with us too much during this 8-day period, but going and coming to the event, that's prime opportunity for the state. But talking about coastal Mississippi, we've had a great relationship with them over the years. Judy Young is here now, and we're even doing more things with them. They're helping us out with social media. Like I say, we need some help along the way. And from a marketing standpoint, sometimes we don't have time to do a lot of the nuts and bolts of marketing. We have a good marketing program, but the social media thing is something that they've really been helping us a lot with.
But do you have a small organization, and the reality is that the majority of what you're pulling off, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, is coming from volunteers. So all of these strategic partnerships are incredibly important, and we just need to continue to emphasize that, don't we, Greg?
We do. And something else I might add is that it's not only about the group cruising the coast this week, but it's how many people come back, and they're coming from other states along from Mississippi coming to the coast, but they're coming from other states. And then I think the word of mouth is just tremendous, and that's sometimes your best form of advertisement.
No doubt.
And people leave here and they're just overwhelmed about the week, and especially when the weather and the skies are blue and the clouds are kind of light, and just a beautiful day on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. But it's not only about this week; it's about all those folks who come back, and this is the stimulus that gets them here, but it's the coast that brings them back.
Yep.
When we come back, we're going to continue the conversation with Greg Cronin. Thank you, Woody. It's great to see you, my friend. We'll see you after this break.
All right.
Welcome back to the final segment of Coast View, here live from Town Green, celebrating Cruising the Coast and this amazing weather, a world-class event at a world-class destination with incredibly world-class weather. You couldn't ask for more. I've got Greg Cronin with us. He's the chairman of the board for Coastal Mississippi Tourism, and Woody Bailey, the executive director of Cruising the Coast and sort of the father of this incredible event. I had David Shoemake on earlier. He gave kind of a local's perspective on cruising, but what was interesting about David that occurred to me while we were talking is that he was so involved in the recovery effort, helping rebuild this place after Hurricane Katrina, and he's also a local that just soaks up cruising, and he's almost somber, and as he looks back, he's just so proud at the same time of how we got to this point. But what a great guy.
David is awesome. He like I say, lives and breathes Cruising the Coast. He enjoys this event. Anytime I ask him to do something, he's right there and ready to go. He's so agreeable. I might ask him to do a few more things along the way too. So he's a great guy, a great spokesman for the Gulf Coast as well as for cruising.
Well, as you and I know from working in the community together for so many years, if you want something done, you got to find a busy person to
Correct.
do it.
Yep.
So Greg, coming back to cruising in general, just what does it mean to you? What does this event mean to you?
Well, I think it's just a week of it's one of those weeks where the coast all comes together. Volunteers. We have at our company, we have 4 or 5 folks who they don't ask if they can get off for cruising. They tell us that they're going to cruising, and they're volunteers, by the way, Woody. So,
yeah.
And they go to make the bags, and there's just a sense of pride. And I think when you drive up and down Highway 90 here, and you see all the cars, and you see the magnitude of the event, it's kind of overwhelming a little bit to just see it all. But I think the thing that it means most is just the community coming together, the impact that it brings to this community. We were talking in the earlier segment in terms about how this kind of came to be and what the idea was, and I don't know that anybody saw what we're looking at today, and but it's a sense of pride, and it's an opportunity for us to share about the best place to live in the world for others to see that for a week. And you know, last thing I'd say there is as I hear people just talking in general, and if they're in one of the casinos or if they're in a restaurant or wherever they are, everybody's talking about just how great an event this is and the opportunity to come together. And these folks all know each other, and I think this is this is the crown jewel of coming together for a car show like this.
You know, Woody, the thing that, and I mentioned, I think this last year, the one thing about getting here early today and walking around and watching the people here, they all feel at home. I mean, they're smiling. They have a tremendous amount of pride in their cars. I mean, that goes with an event like this. But good people, good morning, how you doing? This just gathers some amazing people from all over the country, doesn't it?
It is. This, the folks that have these cars and our spectator group, which is growing tremendously, just to find a bunch of people to deal with, and really, like I say, we've talked before about this. Our hospitality here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast is just unbelievable, and like I say, to me, that, as I always say, that's our secret weapon, are the people of the Mississippi Gulf Coast. We treat people right. And they have a great time here. They go home and tell their friends. Greg, like you talk about word of mouth advertising, it just doesn't get any better than that. And we're just so fortunate to have what we have. And Highway 90 is a great thing. The beaches and the water. Most places in the country, you don't get to see the water when you go somewhere with a destination like we have. It's just pretty amazing.
It's not just word of mouth, Greg. It is all the media that's happening here, both in social media, formal media, car enthusiasts, magazines, and websites, and the tentacles that will go out to inform people from this event. I don't even know how you put a price on that.
Yeah, I was talking a little bit earlier about some of the impact and everything, and obviously there's a number of things that things you just can't measure that also go into that equation, and I think it's what brings them back. I like to say a lot, I've shared this over the years, I think South Mississippi, I think coastal Mississippi has one of the biggest welcome mats in all of the country in terms of coming in. Come enjoy it with us, and we all enjoy sharing it together, and but you can't duplicate this in terms of what it means for the Mississippi Gulf Coast, and the opportunity to just have everybody together like this. And compliments to Woody and his team. I think it's bigger and better every year.
Well, and some of the things that, like our economic impact study does not cover, or the local impacts, people taking off their week to have vacations here during Cruising the Coast. The fact that these people come to Cruising the Coast, they come back other times of the year. A lot of them have bought property here. They love this area, and this exposure is just another way of letting everybody know what the story of South Mississippi and coastal Mississippi is.
Well, Pete ViCari, I had him on at the beginning of the show. I mean, he's from South Louisiana, and what did he do? He buys a house here and loves this community. So many other people do the same thing. It's incredible. What a great event. It has been an absolute pleasure, Woody, to visit with you today. And Greg, thank you for joining us as well. This has been sponsored by Coastal Mississippi Tourism, and we'll be hearing from Gerard and his group here shortly, and continue to showcase this amazing event from here in Town Green and Biloxi. Have a great day, and from a Coast View audience, we'll see you tomorrow. Otherwise, stay tuned for more.
SuperTalk Mississippi Gulf Coast 103.1 on Facebook. Facebook.com/SuperTalk MS Coast 103.1.